Abuse is an epidemic across the nation, and the abusers are being targeted when they're younger and younger. That's posing a new challenge for those on the front line trying to fight the problem. So they're taking their message to kids as young as 10. WSBT-22's Jesse Schultz has been looking into this. And Jesse, you found for some schools, it's all about alerting them early.
They're now learning about the dangers of heroin and prescription pills. It's not about scaring them, it's about telling them what's actually happening in their community so they can grow up and stop it.
That's an evil drug. It concerns me.
Mishawaka Lieutenant Tim Williams talks to students in schools about drugs every week. He's been doing it for years, but what he hasn't been doing for years, talking about prescription pills and heroin to kids this young. He added that 2 years ago.
This is where they live, and this is what they're going to have to deal with in their community. It's important for them to know that.
He shows them the faces of heroin, what it can do to you, but it's their faces that say it all.
I was shaking, my heart was pounding. It was traumatic learning about all the different things that could happen to you.
Even though these kids are just 10 years old, Lieutenant Williams says they're not too young, and the gateway drug that leads to heroin is in all of their homes.
They don't have to go to the street corner or, ask for it to buy it. So, they can take it out of mom and dad's medicine cabinet.
Medicine is just meant to help you and not make you worse.
But the people waging the war are not just sounding the alarm with the elementary crowd. The message is being shared at local high schools, too.
Unfortunately, we don't have a great educational system in terms of drug and alcohol abuse.
That's why South Bend's Adams High School is starting a new effort to make sure teens are hearing about the drug dangers. Until now, the only time many students heard about those dangers was in health class.
Usually you just hear from your teacher, don't do drugs, it's not okay to drink.
But a group of students wanted to do more. They got experts together to talk about the actual effects of taking prescription pills and drug abuse. For the past couple of months, they've been collecting questions from their peers to ask the experts.
I think the best questions that we had was, can doing it one time affect your whole life? Or can you get addicted after one time of taking a drug? And it's possible.
Principal Jim Seitz says this assembly is a first step.
I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning and be on the news talking about a death of a student and say that we didn't have any type of education to provide for these kids.
He says it's naive to think none of the 1,800 students here will become addicted.
We're not going to put our heads in the sand and think that there's not a problem out there.
Margaret Goldsmith specializes in addiction. She says there needs to be more education in all schools because the face of addiction is changing and becoming younger.
Somebody else is going to get addicted, somebody else is going to get hurt. It's not going to be me. That's just the nature of adolescence.
Seitz says he'll do whatever it takes, including more assemblies like this one.
If it makes somebody think, you know what, maybe I shouldn't put that in my body because I may not wake up tomorrow morning. That's a pretty powerful statement.
As for Lieutenant Williams, he hopes that getting to these kids early will make things easier for people like Seitz later on and help them realize that they can say no.
When it comes time to make that choice, they can make the right choice for themselves.
Margaret Goldsmith of the Alcohol and Addiction Resource Center is working on bringing that assembly to every high school in St. Joseph County. She says she'll get a group of students and set it up herself. She just wants to get the information out there that they need to succeed because just one school isn't enough.
Yeah, what about Adams High School? Are they doing more than the assembly?
Principal Seitz told me that he wants to incorporate drug learning in all classes and not just health class. And in a couple of months, they're going to have a fact week where they're going to cover the school with posters with alarming facts about drug abuse.
Yeah, it's one of those scary things. It's good that they're doing something about it.
Yes.
Jesse, thanks very much. We'll be right back.